Hello everyone, Darren here, and today's episode is going to be a little bit of a kind of just testing the waters here with a new series that I'd like to do, and it's going to be called Derren Talks. And basically, these are just going to be subjects that I feel are more fitting of a discussion amongst you guys or with you guys than it would be of trying to like educate you. So we're going to just test to see. I would really much like your feedback on this. If it ends up being completely negative and you guys are feeling like I'm trying to convert you to like a different religion or indoctrinate you into something, do please let me know. Obviously, respectfully, of course. It's like there's no point being a jerk about it. Just tell me you don't feel comfortable with these types of videos, and if I get enough reactions like that where it's overwhelming, I'm just going to delete the video and rethink about this whole little series that I thought. So, but again, just testing the waters here, so we'll see how this goes. But today's subject is going to be quitting the game early. I know this is kind of like an on-the-fence thing. There are justifications for leaving early, and I know that there are a lot of people that are adamant saying that, I report everyone that quits early or accidentally kills themselves or something because it's unsportsmanlike behavior and they're putting the team at a disadvantage and stuff. And by all means, I see both sides of the argument here. I'm very much against the whole killing yourself or quitting early thing because I see the potential you as a player, you lose if you do quit early. And I see the handicap that you give your team if you do quit early or kill yourself intentionally. But at the same time, I also kind of see the arguments of quitting early in some situations. Maybe you fire, your artillery, and you fired your last shot, light tank coming at you, you missed. Okay, all right, might as well just go back to the garage because you're not going to be able to fight back at that point. You had one shot, you missed it, and it's done. Or the accidental stuff of you're driving, oh crap, your boss is calling you and you're not paying attention, forgot that auto drive was on, and you just careened into a lake or off a cliff because you needed to answer the phone call that was your boss. It happens. That's happened to me, and I've just gone and done the Captain Picard thing where you double face palm IBN. So it's happened, and I kind of see why people do it if they're bottom tier, but hear me out when I say that this game is not for if you're quitting early and you're leaving. The way I see it is that you are holding yourself back from improvement. You want it easy, and unfortunately this game, as simple as it can be to understand what you do in the game, it is still a very complex game that on both the strategic and tactical level, where there are ideas, kind of like what I'm about to discuss here, that never even crossed your mind. And this game also requires multiple levels of thinking of in like three-dimensional thinking, and most people don't want to think on that level. It's like kind of like Call of Duty. I just want to shoot whatever's in front of me. Forget tactics, forget strategic thinking, forget about thinking what happened previously, right now, and in the future. Forget about all that. I just want to shoot stuff. And so I get that. I get that they just kind of want to have fun, and if it's not in their favor, they want to leave. But at the same time, that's where it's kind of like the argument of the people that hate it and report everyone that does it. That's kind of where I'm agree, where it's like, you're not helping yourself, you're not helping your team. And that's kind of what I want to cover, is that even if the situation is not in your favor, you're still actually able to contribute and help the team, even if it's not the way that you want it to be. But maybe perhaps if you try it like this, you might actually still feel contributing. I know that there's even base cappers where it's like they do absolutely nothing in the game, and because they're too slow or whatever it is, and they're just trailing behind the train, and they go and cap the base because they just want to feel like they contributed. Well, it's kind of the same idea with what I'm about to discuss. So here's a hypothetical situation that both sides could kind of see the potential in or the reasoning behind. So, situation for me, and this happened to me, this is why I'm going to use this example, is that I was in a setter on Kazarine Pass. I was, I think, mid-tier, bottom tier, so I was also a light tank, so, you know, I could still do something, I could still spot and all that stuff as usual, but I was driving, I had auto drive on, and I got spotted, and I spotted someone else, and I forget exactly what order happened, but I found myself careening off the cliff, and I landed on a ledge. I took damage, and I got stuck. But fortune, you know, had it to where I realized the potential of what I could do in that situation. The one side could easily see the reasoning and the justification for quitting early. You got stuck, you can't fight back, you can't get out. If you get out, and you can't leave your spot because you're just going to fall to your death, and you can't go back up because it's too sharp of a, you know, a cliff and the setter is too small. So I could see the justification for quitting early. But did you realize that you are actually still able to contribute to your team even in that situation where you can't fight back, you can't move around, you can't really do much spotting or assisting? And what I've realized while I was sitting there was that my position allowed me to still kind of spot some tanks that kind of fell into my little cone of vision, but the enemy team also still was able to spot me because a little bit of my tank was still poking out that, you know, had one of the spotting cones on it, spotting points, and so they could spot me and relay my position to, you know, their teammates. But they couldn't really shoot me because the window to actually hit me was really, really small. But in usual player fashion, if you see a tank that can't fight back or is stationary, you're going to completely forget the fight you are in because it's free damage. So what ended up happening is that we started to lose throughout it, and about halfway through, I got spotted by an enemy tank. I don't like quitting early because I don't like self-destructing and pretty much avoiding any rewards or anything like that, so I kind of just sat there playing solitaire on my phone. And I heard the spotted status go off, and this is when I realized what was going on. They couldn't hit me, and all of a sudden, I started detecting like 4 tanks. We were starting to lose the game, applying pressure and all that. They were applying pressure. I think it was like assault. But I ended up tying up 4 of the enemy team's tanks because they tunnel vision, they wanted free damage. And because I was literally just tying up 4 tanks that were just trying to, you know, hit me, get that free damage, we actually ended up turning the game around. Because those 4 tanks that were trying to shoot at me were not shooting at the people that were actually able to shoot back at them. So because of that, that was 4 less tanks that my teammates had to deal with, and because of that, they managed to kind of flip the odds back into our favor. So obviously, spoiler alert, we won, because I like to think that I tied up those 4 tanks, and it's because of me being stuck that we won the game. Now, is that completely true? Probably not, but no one's going to really kind of fault you for thinking that way. Because, you know, unless you start bragging about it or declaring it in, like, the game chat that you contributed, even though you may be at the bottom of the leaderboards with zeros across the board, you know, you might tick some people off. But, you know, if you're doing it self-justification-wise, where, you know, you're just kind of talking to yourself like, hey, yeah, I could see how I turned the game around just by being stuck and tying up 4 tanks, then if that makes you feel good, then what's wrong with it? I don't like the quitting early idea because, like I said, you're giving up a bunch of potential right there to still contribute. You may be bottom tier, it may not be in your favor, but this game isn't easy. And if you quit early because it's not in your favor, you're holding yourself back, at least the way I see it. You're holding yourself back from learning from challenges you face. A lot of, you know, motivational speakers say, you know, life isn't easy, and the only way you'll succeed is by overcoming the challenges you face, yada, yada, yada. And I kind of agree. I kind of translate that into this game, and that's kind of why I decided to try and help and educate you guys to overcome those challenges instead of just see it the easy way. And in this, it's like if you're trying to just have it easy, and you're going back to the garage because you're bottom tier or mid tier, and you can't, you know, farm or seal club or whatever it is because like you wanted to, you know, you can still contribute. You might potentially be leaving a game that could have been really, really good for you. So, you know, instead of quitting and going back to the garage, I highly encourage you guys to face every game. Don't quit, but face every game head on and use everything in that game as a learning experience. So use, if you're bottom tier, try a new way of fighting. And if you die, you died. You know, you tried something new. You can't really fault someone. If you get a hate mail message, just say, hey, I tried something different and it didn't work. You know, then it's kind of hard. You justified why you died. You still went down swinging, and there's really not much of a counter argument for that guy. You could just immediately shut down his argument. You could try and start throwing childish insults, but then just refer to my stopping toxicity video. But again, back on topic, I highly suggest that you guys face every game head on. Fight to the end. And if you end up dying, trying to do, you know, whatever, play the game, use that game as a learning experience and a stepping stone to improve yourself. So that's pretty much all I have to really say on it. You know, feel free to agree, disagree, throw some counter arguments and all that stuff in the video, well, in the comments of the video. But again, I would like to see you guys be mature about this. No need to start hating on each other or the video or anything like that. And do please leave feedback if you'd like to see more videos like this one. And just in time, the dog is barking at invisible squirrels, because why? But I hope you enjoyed this video, or at least found it intriguing. And of course, like I said, I really would like to see your feedback on whether or not you would like to see more of this type of video series. And yeah, if you liked what you see here or heard, please smash those like buttons, the like, the subscribe, and that bell icon for notifications. And until next time, this has been Darren of Watsy Academy.